What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today, in the world of indie games, it has been 8 months, so we are checking back in on Terminus. In my opinion, this is one of the more promising zombie survival games outside of like Cataclysm DDA and Project Zomboid. I think this developer has like a really clear idea of what it is he wants to do with this game, and he's been patching pretty much weekly since the game came out, adding content, bug fixing, and moving things around, and making the game more robust. That means that I want to cover it again. So we're going to play the game for about 40 minutes and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If you've never seen this game before, I got a link for you down below in the description where you can acquire it in early access. This is a zombie apocalypse open world survival roguelike, where it procedurally generates a giant map that probably has about 80 to 100 locations on it that are all linked together by roads and railways and things of that nature. And the ultimate goal of the game is that humanity is gone. Done. There are not any humans left, except in a place called Terminus, which is what you're trying to find. The goal of the game is to figure out where the Terminus is by process of elimination, and then to get there in order to win the game, because it is the last remnant of human civilization that's able to hold back the undead horde. So the game has a really cool premise. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like infinitely replayable. Let's play it. Down there with the game's description link, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream. I'm more than likely going to stream this game on the day that the video goes live so that you can get like a 3 or 4 hour look at it. So be sure to swing on through. I'd love to have you. But let's start a new game. There are a number of jobs you can get in this game. Unfortunately, a lot of them are locked behind actually like winning the game, and I just don't get a lot of time to sit down for 4 or 5 hours and actually like win the game. But when you win the game, you unlock more jobs. This game has meta progression. So when you win, you unlock jobs. Every time you win, you also get an XP. That XP can be spent on perks to make your starting character stronger, and thus increase the chances that you are going to survive on future runs. I will probably go with the firefighter here, because the firefighter starts out with a crowbar, which is an incredibly useful piece of equipment, and axes and crowbars don't break as fast for the firefighter, which is great. He also knows the location of all fire stations, which can be very, very helpful. I think we've got to take some points off here. I think I will add my optional points to combat. I think that's a good idea. I think I will probably add the rest of my points to observation so that we can see a little bit further. So our visibility cone goes out 5 squares. This is a turn-based game. You will get used to the flow of it as you play it a little bit. When I first started playing this game, I didn't think that turn-based would really work for a zombie apocalypse hardcore survival game, but it does. It actually works quite well. You just sort of have to get acclimated to it and give it a chance. We have a preference for cigarettes down here. That means that we can smoke cigarettes in order to get morale back. You can swap this out if you want. The game has tons of perks, but once again, you're not going to be able to get most of these perks until you've beaten the game upwards of 14 times. So keep that in mind. I think a good middle ground for this would be definitely give the player their points for winning the game, but also add in some negative perks that'll give you some temporary free points at the beginning of runs. Maybe not enough to get the best stuff in the game, but at least like 1 or 2 points off negative perks that nerf things like your stats or like your damage or whatever in order to, you know, grab 1 or 2 of these might be kind of cool. For now, we can either go with coffee preference, we can go with cigarette, or alcohol preference. I'll go with cigarette preference because I feel like cigarettes are a little bit more common in the loot pool than alcohol is, and morale can be a significant concern in this game when it comes to like keeping yourself alive. Alright, infected zombies are attacking people. Your house is safe, but electricity and water are gone. There are few supplies left. In your last communication, you learn that the surviving people have gathered in a place called the Terminus. Arrive at the Terminus to safely survive. We can either find a radio and listen to the broadcast to find out where Terminus is at, or we can use the process of deduction to follow railroad tracks to figure out where it's located. It is somewhere on this map. In my experience, it's typically up along the northern border somewhere, and once we start finding railroad tracks, it'll get a little bit more obvious. Now, I know this map doesn't look very populated. Be forewarned, there are easily like 100 locations on this map. There are everything from restaurants, to police stations, to libraries, to grocery stores, to gun stores. The thing is, though, for whatever reason, your character, even though he's from here, seems to have some kind of amnesia. And so you've got to find maps, you've got to find notes, you've got to find clues to where all that stuff is at. Now, the good news is we know where a fire station is at because of our fireman job, but we need to walk around and start doing things. So you interact with the game world by right-clicking. There are a number of contextual UI elements here that you should probably familiarize yourself with. This right here is basically just the world status, what day it is, what time it is, when sundown is, what the weather is looking like. This down here is going to be all of our current attributes, HP, which you die. Then when that goes down to 0, AP is your fuel to do activities like hit enemies, loot things, walk around. Satiety is how full you are on food. Warmth is self-explanatory. It gets too low, you freeze. You've got energy, which is how sleepy you are, and you've got morale, which is how happy you are. There are also other little tabs that give you more extrapolated information, like how big your view cone is, how much defense you have. Here's your XP. This game does have RPG aspects. Every time you find a new location, fight a zombie, do anything, the XP meter fills up. However, you don't really get to adjust your stats at all. What you'll get is more perks that will do various things, like make you a better fighter with a knife, or make you use 10% less AP when you walk. Things of that nature. We've also got our backpack. As of right now, we only have a crowbar inside of our backpack, but it is a brand new crowbar, which is nice. And then you've got your map buttons up here. You've got your crafting buttons over on this side for the game's crafting system and for lighting fires and for sleeping and stuff like that. Let's get to work and search this house because we need some starting supplies. So we got weak medicine and some liquor out of that cabinet. In this game, the farther you move, the less AP you use. So you get like a big discount in this game for moving long distances instead of moving one square at a time. And so when you can, and when you can afford to do so, I do recommend that you take longer move orders instead of lesser move orders. This is how you end the turn down here with this little dial. Every single time you end a turn, you're going to get 10 AP back, 1 hour is going to pass, and your stats are going to adjust. And the game does a really good job at telegraphing exactly what the status changes are going to be. We've only got one more loot spot to look at. But in the early game, what I like to do is I like to track down a car, and I like to track down a axe. Those are like the two things that I'm very, very excited about at the beginning of a game of Terminus, and so those tend to be my priorities. We do have a zombie over here, and he is now aware of us. I'm going to go ahead and smack him in the head with a crowbar. Bop! Ah, we missed killing him by 0.1 HP. Lame. And every hit takes our durability down by 10. Brutal. What else did he have on him, though? He's got burn ointment. Okay, so we can heal burns. This game does have, like, contextual damage to your character, in case you were wondering. So, like, your character, for example, can catch the flu. Your character can get salmonella from eating bad food. Your character can get a cold. Your character can get burns, so zombies can accidentally knock over things that light houses on fire, and then the fire spreads. That's one of the new features that they just added in the last patch, is that accidental fires can occur to your benefit or to your detriment, meaning you can throw a Molotov if a house is full of a ridiculous number of zombies and burn them all alive. Likewise, zombies can kind of start fires by being clumsy and burn you to death while you're trying to sleep. And so anyways, there's fun little things to play around with. It looks like we didn't get a map book or anything that we can use to scout this location, but it also looks like to me we can really only go left. I'm not seeing a lot of other options here on the map. So let's go left, shall we? They've given me the option to go on the strong side. And so we'll go ahead and go down this path. Now, one thing you do want to be aware of is that, there we go. When you transition maps, it assumes that it takes you about 30 minutes to do that. So it's going to take about half your AP. I like to transition maps only when I have full AP, because if you spawn into the new map procedurally with a bunch of zombies around, I like to have at least a little bit of energy left to fight them off, instead of just dying instantly when I get to the new map. And we did find our way to a house, so that's good. I'm going to move over to this door, but it's locked. We're going to go ahead and crowbar it open, but there's a zombie in front of us on the other side. We're going to bash him to death. Every time you attack with a weapon in this game, you gain proficiency with that weapon. That means that you will use less durability, you will deal more damage. Just little bonuses like that when you have proficiency with something. I'm going to pass a turn, but I am a little bit worried that there's going to be more zombies around. So we've got a pillow, a steel pipe, and some beans. We've got pretty good food supplies right now if I do say so myself, which I absolutely just did, we've got a hoodie and a wrench. Okay, let's put on the hoodie so that we warm up a little bit better. The pillow makes us sleep more effectively. We actually have a steel pipe now too, but the steel pipe kind of has crappy durability, so it's only going to last for 1 or 2 hits, but it should allow us to preserve our crowbar a little bit, I think. If we can find some metal scrap, we can make an improvised lighter out of this battery. I don't know if you know about that in real life, but you can make an improvised lighter using a 9-volt battery, a AA battery, and a piece of gum wrapper. So if the gum wrapper has been plated or foiled, you take it and you touch the contacts to the negative and the positive side of the battery with the metal side exposed of the gum wrapper, and the gum wrapper will catch on fire near the top of where it's connected, and you can use it to light a fire, or you can use it to light a cigarette or whatever else. This game takes that into account. You can actually do that. So every single fresh piece of meat that we find, it has a durability on it. Now, the downside to this is that we might get a disease if we eat this fresh meat. I'll probably give it another turn or two, but I don't have a lighter to start a fire. And so anyways, I would like to light a fire before that meat goes bad. There is a helmeted zombie over here. We're going to want to get outside his range. It's going to take some doing to kill him. My general suggestion with zombies that have helmets on is that you break their legs and then just outwalk them. But since this guy is inside, I'm going to try to crush his helmet off. There we go, and we'll just break the pipe over the top of his head. It's not an ideal situation, and we just wasted a lot of time. Screwdriver and some pliers. We've got a recipe book and a thick book. The thick book. Is that not a door? That looks like a door to me. Huh. Maybe it's not. Oh, it's probably a cabinet. Well, there's a piece of wood. If we only had a lighter, I could roast up this meat right now. A fresh carrot and an apple. The real question is, do I want to risk getting sick by eating the raw meat? When I was a kid, I had a babysitter that used to eat raw, like, when she was making, like, she'd come over when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and she would make dinner, and you would have, like, ground beef, you know what I mean? And she would just eat ground beef out of the package before she'd put it into the skillet. I'm like, that can't be healthy. Like, 25 years later, I'm still like, that couldn't have been healthy. That's got to be really bad for you. That can't be something that's like doctor approved. That's got to be really, really bad for you. I think so. The thick book will increase our health stat by 1, but we've got to read 445 pages. We've also got a recipe book that'll teach us how to make an arrow and a lantern. Okay. I want to light that wood on fire. Unfortunate. So I could make a makeshift lighter down here if I could just find an electronic part. I don't think we can dismantle it without a knife or something, but this would give us the threads we need in order to make a primitive fire starter. Yeah, I can make makeshift bandages, and I can make, like, normal bandages here, but we'll put some time into that right there. Get some AP back, too. Yeah, I think the meat's just gonna go bad. I might just eat it. Let's YOLO it. 10 satiety is hard to turn down. We may get sick on the next turn, but it's kind of like a risk I'm willing to take. Doesn't look like we've gotten sick yet, but there's kind of like a 2 or 3 hour window after you eat something dubious in this game before it punishes you. So let's move to the door. I guess we could sleep here tonight. I don't know if it's a great plan, but I'll cover the window with a rag. We'll close that door right there and kind of make our own little fortress back here. And with the AP I have available, I can finish crafting the bandage. There we go. So we've now got a extra bandage inside of our medical equipment. And the next thing I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to start reading books that'll let me learn to craft. We'll start with the thick book, I think. Our morale is not great either. It looks like so that goes stale next turn. That apple is already stale, so we'll probably eat that in the morning. That's fresh. That may actually be the only way we really truly have to get our morale back up, because I'm just noticing we didn't find any books or novels that'll help us get our morale back up, and we also did not find any cigarettes. It looks like the game is actually dedicated to making me look stupid this time around, because I've played 2 or 3 runs prior to the recording of this video, and I found that I almost never find alcohol, but I always have like a big stack of cigarettes. So like I took the cigarette morale bonus. This time around it's giving me all kinds of alcohol. Figures, right? If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Let's go ahead and we'll crash and sleep here for a minute. The good news is we do have a very small amount of morale that we're getting back when we sleep, and I think that's a change from the last time I played the game. The last time I played, the only way to get morale back was pretty much just eating food, reading books, and drinking liquor. This time around, it looks like we can actually get a nice little piece back by catching a good night's sleep. Good night's sleep accomplished. Now, the downside is we don't really have a lot of food, and we don't really have a lot of morale. So we still need to keep looting and finding things. We still have not found a map book either, so you can actually find like local tour guide books, and you can find local street maps, and you can use those to scout on this map menu right here, where it will show you where locations are. Unfortunately, this is a pretty rough playthrough for us, and we haven't found anything too useful yet. So I think we're just going to have to haul off and get out of here and go to the next zone over and just keep looting stuff until we find something that's going to be of appropriate use to us in order to plan what we actually want to do here, rather than just wandering blindly. Let's go to the next map over. And there is a house here. I'm going to wait a turn. The good news is zombies are basically blind in the dark too. So unless we bump into them, we should be okay. We found another house here. I'm going to follow the outside of it. Window's locked. I can force it open with a crowbar, though. And then we can get inside and we can close it back up. And hopefully there's no zombies inside of here. If I just trap myself inside with the ravenous undead, that's going to suck. I'm going to search this furniture. We got a street map. Hey, that's what I was just talking about. Okay, so the street map, what we want to do with this is you right-click on it, and then you can scan around the map, and it'll tell you where locations are at. And in exchange for like 4 AP, it will fill in your map. So now we know that there's 2 houses over that way. If I go this direction, it looks like there's something right there. It's a grocery store. That would actually be super amazing for getting our supplies filled on out, especially since most of the stuff on us right now we can't eat without the risk of getting a little bit sick. Oh, the door was broken open right next to it. I'll probably go to the grocery store. The grocery store sounds like a really good idea to me to possibly pick up a car. I found a lighter. Okay. Alas, the unfortunate predicament we find ourselves in is that we don't have it. This game kind of has like a weird situation where you can light a fire, but you can't just like lay the meat up against the fire in order to cook it. You have to have either skewers, so the game expects you to have a bunch of sticks in your inventory so that you can shish kebab, or the game expects you to have a skillet. And we don't have those 2 things yet, so unfortunately cooking is not going to happen. Unless we can find like pots, pans, that kind of stuff. Oh my god, we just found so much food. This is the best day ever to be me. We found more liquor. That's a little unfortunate because I would rather have cigarettes. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. We found a recipe book. I'll probably go over here. If I find antibiotics, we can kind of Oh, we found a book. That's good. That means I can fix my morale. Actually, no. It's a skill book. It will teach us a perk, Sharp Ears, which makes us hear further. We've got a recipe book for arrows, animal traps, repair kits, lockpicks, wooden arrows, lanterns. Okay, so we've got some little things here. I'll probably eat the bread real quick just to help out with morale. That's got 2 satiety on it. We might as well take that too, since it's going to go bad anyways. The meat is a tough call. Like, I'd love to cook it, but unfortunately, I don't have any antibiotics. If I had antibiotics, I'd wait until our hunger went down to 0 and I'd shotgun them both. And then if we got sick, I'd just use the antibiotics to fix it, but we don't really have that option right now. I figure, now that we've hit this whole location... Oh, what's up, zombie? You're kind of like in the way of where I'm trying to go. So I'm going to stab you with a screwdriver until you die. I don't want to use my... I don't want to use up... I'll probably wait a turn. That's going to be kind of low AP when we get to that other side. We need to fix our morale, though, too. Maybe the grocery store will have like a little, you know, cigarette cart or something. Hey, the window was open. They made my life easy. Thank you, game. Cereal and canned ham. I get the feeling our food problems are pretty much done here. If we can just loot the supermarket. Hopefully it's one of those supermarkets that has like an appliance aisle or like a hardware aisle. Like my supermarket near my house has 2 full aisles of just random stuff for like your garage. Like shop brooms and screwdrivers and hammers and stuff like that. I don't know if every supermarket has that, but mine does. Ramen and coffee. Chocolate bars and coffee. Hey, we leveled up again. We have less tool durability loss when we attack, or we can take a better resistance to morale loss. I'll take the resistance to morale loss because we don't really have any ways to solve our morale right now. We'll probably sleep inside the supermarket tonight, I would think. Weird supermarket layout with all these doors and whatnot. Alcohol, man, I'm finding so much alcohol this run. This never happens, dude. I could fix my morale right now if I had just taken the alcohol perk, man. I hate my life. All right, let's salt jacket tape. Get some APs back. I am now depressed. That means that our AP recovery has gotten more poorly. Our morale will come back a little bit tonight when we sleep. Fresh bread, meat, potato. We have the potate. Oh, antibiotics. There's 1 cigarette. All right. So we'll smoke our 1 cigarette. And that'll fix our morale a little bit. Give us a little bit of a heads up. And then I can use that to fix my crowbar, which I think is a really good idea. I'm going to use it on my crowbar. There we go. Crowbar has been repaired by 15%. And I have so many beers, dude. We did get antibiotics. That means that I can shotgun this meat right here. And if I get sick, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do exactly that. We'll throw out all the rotten stuff. And I think we've got... Oh, the salt is like a modifier for your meal. That's pretty cool. So you can use it when you cook something else. Canned ham. Yeah, buddy. The Hawaiian inside me. So happy right now, dude. Hawaiian people, we love Spam. We put Spam in everything, dude. Spam Sai Min. Spam Musubi. We got the Kahlua pork. We'll put like a side of Spam in there just in case, you know, because you never know when the craving is going to come up. For like a solid, you know, brick fried Spam. Looks like we more or less have plenty of other foods. So it comes down to how I want to spend the next hour or 2. I'll probably eat the bread before it goes bad just to max us out. I would say maybe read a book for a little bit. Like the Sharp Ears book would probably be a good idea. Because that gives us a new perk that lets us hear a lot further. So it may not be a bad idea to get down on that one. I got 3 turns till the bread goes bad. All right. 1. Oh, I did get sick from the raw meat. Okay, so I gotta take the antibiotics. There we go. I have healed my disease. We will also eat the bread real fast for the morale increase before it goes bad. We've got chocolate bars, which is nice. Weirdly enough, chocolate bars do not give you morale, but I can think of few things that I enjoy more than taking like a big bag of peanut M&Ms and just getting down on them against all standards and practices, man. Like just having way more peanut M&Ms than should be medically allowed. That's the way I live my life. I don't flinch away from it either. Let's continue learning sharp ears, I suppose. We're about halfway there, and then we'll get sharp ears. And then we can throw the book out so that it's not weighing us down either. I'm going to go ahead and bypass a turn here real quick. Go down this way. We're going to want to shut this door. We're going to want to sleep in this corner. We have a pillow, so that should help out a little bit. And now with our new morale resistance, we should actually be getting a whole bunch of morale back per turn. So that'll be huge too. So I may actually sleep a little bit longer than I need to, just to make sure that our morale doesn't fall apart on us. Your sleep in this game does get more effective the longer you chain it together. You may have noticed that sleep quality is going up as I lay on the ground longer and longer. This game likes you to take unbroken sleeps. So like 2-hour naps are not going to be nearly as restorative as like an unbroken 8-hour period that you sleep through, just like real life. I don't know if you've ever had, like, I've always had problems staying asleep. Like, I've never really had problems getting to sleep, but I've always had problems staying asleep. Like, I am a continuously light sleeper. And so what happens to me is I tend to wake up like 2 to 3 times a night to every small noise. And I can tell you 100%, like, sleeping 3 times for 2 hours is not nearly as restorative as sleeping 1 time for 6 hours. So I think the game's got the right of it there. I should probably scout out where we're going next, because we're at a grocery store right now, and it looks like it's kind of leading us to a dangerous place. And the closer we get to that, the worse I think it's going to get. We may want to double back to this house over here on our right. We've got enough food to last a while. Like, how much food do I have right now? A lot of food is the answer to that question. Enough food that's at least going to hold us for another 2 days, so that's good. We need to find a car, though. If we can find a car, it'll give us access to the trunk, and we can store all of our stuff in the trunk, and we can use the car as like a mobile base, basically, that we can restock and resupply with without nerfing our AP per walk, just because... Are there any zombies around? I kind of was cavalier about joining this zone. I'm going to let my AP get all the way back up, and we're probably going to force this window down here. Crowbar it. Close it back off. That zombie saw us do that. So that zombie's going to try to get inside. I would suggest we just stab him in the head with a Phillips real quick, just to make him go away. Different furniture in this game. I didn't really bring this up. Different furniture in this game is going to have different bonuses. So, like, if you choose to read on this tile, this right here makes you read 5% faster. So there you go. It takes you 5% less AP to read a book if you're sitting on this desk spot. Or if you've noticed, you can sleep on couches and it'll raise your sleep quality up by 50%. There's lots of little interactions. I do suggest you mouse over all the things that can be inside of houses to figure out what they do, because they can give you some nice little additive perks that make life a little bit easier. What you got for me? Alcohol, cigarette, that's what I'm talking about. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I have nothing to do. We've got a guidebook and a recipe book, a fighting knife, and a banana. 2 bananas. 2 banooners. And it looks like the banooners are actually going to hold for a little bit, but we can eat them right now for a perfect max satiety. Another cabinet down here that I was unaware of. 2 books. Are they good books? They are good books. I think our next play is just to scout a little bit. I think that's what we need to do next, is because we've kind of hit like the edge of what we can do here. Yeah. Let's scout a little bit with our map. So this book right here, every 20 pages, it will tell us where a restaurant is at. This one right here will tell us just what's around in the neighborhood. So I'll probably do that. Found 2 houses that way. Found 2 houses that way. Another house there. So we're basically inside of a suburb right now. If I could find a car, I'd just drive up. Maybe the fire station has a police or has a fire truck. Maybe I should go to the fire station just to get a fire truck. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Either way, this house took a lot longer to scout than I thought. Counting flowers on the wall. That don't bother me at all. Alright, screwdriver took care of him. Screwdriver took care of him. I actually kind of like the combat system in this game. Some people say that it's like a little bit simple, but like I like the combat in this game. Like it gets to the point, it resolves like turn-based better. Like could they do it where you walk up and there's like a little targeting thing and you don't get the pop-up or whatever? Sure. An MP3 player, huh? Oh no, it's broken, dude, and I just used my screwdriver to kill a guy that I could have used to fix my Zune, bro. I could have fixed my Zune! It's the future of listening to music! Now I am Zuneless! A Zuneless goober! I don't understand why life does these things to me, and why life enjoys making me Zuneless. Billiam Gates made this Zune for me. Oh, we found a radio. Does it work? We are at the terminus north of the city. If there are people alive, please come here. The location of this place is north 9.6, east 8.5. We are zombie survivors. We've stocked up on food and medicine, and we've got a solid defense to protect us from the zombies. If there are people alive, come to the terminus. We now know where the terminus is at. Hell yeah. So the terminus is in the top right, actually. We haven't found any railroad tracks, so there was no way to extrapolate that, but my experience has been the terminus is always somewhere on the top of the map. I don't think that I've ever spawned in, like, over here, and the terminus has been, like, on the right. Although I do think that would be a really good idea. Like, the player should spawn randomly somewhere on the map, along the edge, and then the terminus can be, like, anywhere within, like, a 180-degree, like, cone of him. Some runs you get lucky, and it's, like, 20 steps that way. Some runs you don't get lucky, and it's, like, 50 steps that way. Be part of the fun, I guess, like part of the proceduralism. The sun will set in 2 hours. Fighting knife and some car fuel. Burn ointment and vitamins. I always heard that, like, vitamins don't work. Like, you know how, like, when you were a kid, your parents make you take your, like, Flintstones vitamins every morning? Like, I heard that they just go straight through you and you just pee them out. Like, your body doesn't absorb vitamins that way. Like, it needs to be a part of, like, some soluble fiber or something for it to work properly. An axe and a rifle. Man, we are overweight as hell. But we do have a gun, so that's pretty cool. It makes a noise when you attack. These knives are pretty good, too. Man, I've got all kinds of things laying around. We gotta find a vehicle, something with a trunk. I need to, like, store some of my goodies. I'm gonna clunk down right here, and hopefully the zombies don't come. About as good as it's gonna get for right now. Let's get some food in us. I can throw out that meat right there. I've got 2 piles of nuts. Yeah, I do. And then we'll eat some chocolate bars. We can grow tomato seeds if we wanted to. Although one thing I kind of like about this game is how you're supposed to be nomadic. Like, you can set up a base in this game if you want to, But like I kind of find it refreshing that most zombie games are about building a base. What I like about this game is that you are on the move. Like you're just kind of like expected somewhere. And so settling down is fine, but it's not the ultimate goal like it is with a lot of zombie games. I think that's pretty cool. I think that makes this game feel a little bit different. Let's see. We're going to go to the fire station, right, to see if they had a fire truck. So we'll go to the house. I'm going to pass a turn, even though I don't know what's around me. The sun's about to come up. I kind of just want to go to the fire station. Like, I don't really want to mess with this place. What's up, Zombo? How would you like to get knifed in the face? I feel like it'd be really unpleasant. Even like if it's a zombie. Oh, shit. That's not great. There was a listener zombie in there. Okay. I feel like I still hear the moans and groans of a zombo around here. Ah, there's a helmet zombie over there. So that's a new addition to the game as well. So there are zombies that have armor on various parts of their bodies. Oh, the fire station is down? Oh, okay. I went the wrong way. I'm wasting time out here. I want to go to the fire station, though, and see if they have a fire truck so that I can be like, whoop, whoop, and I can play like little fireman. You have discovered the station of fire. I don't think that zombie knows about me. Now he does, but he didn't before, and so he shouldn't try to close the gap. He doesn't have that much HP. What do I want to kill him with? I guess I'll just stick to the knives for right now. Like, they're heavy, and I don't want them in my inventory anymore, so they're kind of like the perfect excuse. We'll break this open. We'll get inside the firehouse, close the door, and they have a garage. Fire truck, dude. Whoop, whoop, little fireman. Woo. Okay, so we've got 4 car fuel in here. We got a flashlight, a hammer, and a bandage. We now have a mobile base. That's good. And we've got 6 fuel. Why do you care about having 6 fuel in this game? I'll tell you exactly why you care about having 6 fuel. The car is an enormous tool for survival because it allows you to instantaneously travel a number of squares equal to the amount of fuel you have for like no AP, for no time cost. For all intents and purposes, from what I've seen from the game so far, the car is like a magical teleporter that takes you where you want to go much more rapidly than you would have gotten there yourself. It also provides you with a bunch of storage that you can play around with. So I can put all my books in there, I can put my extra jackets in there, I can put all my crafting materials and liquor inside of here, and if we find a survivor with whom we can actively trade, or with whom we can exchange goods, we could go get it out of the car, go talk to that guy, and we don't have to keep it on our back, because right now, every single tile that we cross is costing us like 20% more AP just due to the absolutely huge armory of crap that I have on my back. And so being able to put useless items in here that I'm not going to be able to use for a little while anyways, unless like a crisis comes up, is a good idea, just to get us a little bit more mobile. Now, we need to strip this place clean, because there should be good stuff inside the fire station. Crowbar, wrench, good. We got a replacement crowbar, nice to have. Especially since our character has so many ridiculous bonuses to using crowbars. Fire axe right there. He's also got bonuses to using a fire axe, so that's good. Did a rag just appear underneath me? Did I just poop a rag? I'm a little bit confused. We've leveled up again. We can take bargaining, or, you know, I'm going to take the reduced durability loss on axes and crowbars, because that means we should be getting 20 swings out of every perfect axe and out of every perfect crowbar, I think, instead of 10 swings. So that's good. Weak vitamins right there. Hopefully no zombies break in. Need to get that door open, too. Bandage. Recipe book and a radio. Scrap metal. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff out of here. This was a good stop for us. I think this was a good thing to dedicate our time to. Why am I losing HP? Because I'm hungry. Gotcha. A little bit hungry right now. I think I'm gonna go chips and can of beans. There we go. Now we should be regenerating again. Let's go back down over to here, and we're gonna... Got a little bit of AP left. We actually need to scout, but I'm losing track of time right now. This is Terminus. I think this game is utterly fantastic. I think it's great. I like it a lot. It may not be the right zombie apocalypse survival game for everybody, but my experience with it so far has been that the developer has been patching like a madman since the last time that we covered the game. It seems like he very much knows what he wants to do with the title and is adding new content and things to it. As far as the game is concerned, this is like infinitely expandable. They've already got like, you've got companions in the game so you can meet people and have them follow you, and they can ride around in your car with you and help you fight. Like, they've got cooking, they've got crafting, they've got a procedural map that's different every single time, jobs that do different stuff. Like, this is a game that has a tremendous amount of replay value. It just does. Like, it's a game that has a lot of things you can do if the core gameplay loop bites you. And if you're looking for something a little bit more arcadey than Project Zomboid, a little bit more rapid fire than like Cataclysm DDA, but still with that core experience kind of in there, you can do a lot worse than this game, in my opinion. Like, this is honestly probably the first game I would go to if I was looking for a more rapid-fire version of Cataclysm DDA or Project Zomboid. Something that's a little bit more beer and pretzels, but still has some depth there. I'm very happy with this title. I will see you all later. Thank you for stopping on in. That's all that I've got, and it's time for me to go, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.